Now on Sunrise, a pair of headlines from Newport. First, the city takes legal action to stop an ICE facility from being built. Second, a judge hands the city another win in its legal battle over a Coast Guard helicopter. We'll have more on both stories coming up. Plus,
it's freakish that this much would happen in a span of 5 years.
5 years after Detroit had to survive Oregon's 2020 wildfires, the small town east of Salem is back in recovery mode following last week's rain and wind. We're going to hear more from residents there, plus details on another possible windstorm that's heading our way. Also coming up.
He would go through our trash and he would take out things that could be recycled.
Well, 10 years ago, it was a dream that led to an idea that eventually became a business. We're going to let you know how today that business is both changing lives and saving the planet as we kick off the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Drew Carney. No China Green today, no Chris McGinnis, but lots of Rod Hill because we do have a KGW weather impact alert in place for tomorrow morning. We're talking about a possible windstorm, Rod.
Yeah, and understand, we'll get more into this in about 8 minutes, but understand that some of the weather data for tomorrow simply does not show a wind event at all, while other information shows we get 30, 40, 55 mile per hour wind gusts coming up from the south. The wind advisory starts at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now today it's the opposite. There's hardly a breath of wind out there currently. We do have cloudy skies, some traces of rain, good visibility looking at our state capital in Salem where it's 43 degrees. Moving forward, really mainly dry during the daytime hours. Expected will be upper 40s at noon and about 46 for you at 5 p.m. Snow level today around 3,000 feet. The passes are generally in pretty good shape this morning. Back to you, Drew.
All right, thank you, Rod. We start our news headlines this hour with a pair of crashes that took place within an hour of each other last night. Both involved pedestrians. So the first one happened around 7:30 in southeast Portland near 82nd and Glenwood. Not a lot of information about this one. We know the initial call came in as a pedestrian crash, but we're waiting to hear back from Portland police for more details. About an hour later, right around 8:30, a car hit and killed a person in Aloha right near 198th and TV Highway. Police had the road blocked off for a couple of hours to investigate, but it is back open this morning. The city of Newport is suing the Trump administration to keep federal officials from building an ICE detention facility at the city's airport. KGW's Libby Dowsett joins us live this morning with more on this latest legal battle between Newport and the federal government. Libby?
Well, Drew, the city is concerned that DHS is moving forward with those plans for the detention center at the airport. So they're trying every step they can take to try to block that project, including filing this lawsuit yesterday. Now, the lawsuit was filed in federal U.S. District Court in Eugene, claiming the federal government still plans to put an ICE detention facility in town without following the proper procedures. Now, the lawsuit names DHS, ICE, and the Coast Guard as defendants and alleges the plan violates environmental protection laws. City leaders claim federal contractors are hitting up local businesses like hotels, catering companies, utilities, with questions about providing services for a facility of more than 200 people. And also, Monday, a federal judge ordered DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and the U.S. Coast Guard to leave a rescue helicopter in the city of Newport. Judge Ann Aiken granted a preliminary injunction going a step further than her temporary orders last month, and relief for many people in Newport who fought to have the helicopter brought back from North Bend. And as for that detention facility, the city is hoping a judge will block that project because they claim it's a violation of several federal statutes. We reached out to DHS for comment and have not heard back. Drew.
All right, Libby Dowsett with the latest for us on that situation in Newport. Meanwhile, the attorneys general for 20 Democrat-led states, including Oregon and Washington, are also suing the Trump administration for defunding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The Bureau is the country's primary independent watchdog set up to protect American consumers. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield says the current director of the Bureau, Russell Vogt, is refusing to request any funding for the agency, virtually guaranteeing that it runs out of money next month. So this lawsuit aims to have a judge order the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to request funding so that it can stay up and running. Governor Tina Kotek announced that $65 million will go towards residential behavioral health treatment here in Oregon. That money will pay for 150 new beds across 7 counties, supporting things like withdrawal management and psychiatric inpatient care. Multnomah County already has close to 130 beds for this type of care. The new beds are expected to be available in 2027, with 30 of them coming to Marion County and 22 others to Washington County. After a months-long investigation, a Marion County grand jury found a long list of concerns involving both youth and staff at the McLaren Youth Correctional Facility in Woodburn. KGW got to go inside the facility last week. The report from the grand jury described staff members sexually abusing youth as the most damaging and concerning of the issues. But on top of that, the report listed other issues as well, including problems with drugs and weapons, a lack of response to dangerous gang activity, and a backlog in reported safety concerns. Here's what McLaren's superintendent had to say.
We're pretty transparent about the struggles we've had here historically or in the past couple years, especially following COVID and during COVID. And we're really just hoping that it highlights our commitment to re-energizing and reorganizing and moving things forward.
In a statement, Marion County's district attorney said, quote, "This is only a starting point and should serve as a catalyst for policymakers, state leaders, and experts to address these concerns and do better for both our youth and our communities." The grand jury also issued 10 criminal indictments for alleged conduct at the facility, with some of that conduct involving staff members. KGW's Blair Best led our coverage of the story. You can watch a full breakdown of her reporting on our website, kgw.com. All right, as we mentioned at the top of the hour, another KGW weather impact alert is in place based on tomorrow's Christmas Eve forecast, calling for the possibility of strong winds. At this point, local agencies are preparing for conditions like we saw last week, with the potential again for downed trees and downed power lines. The Oregon Department of Emergency Management is warning people about potential power outages, and PGE says that it's preparing crew members and staging materials so crews can address outages as quickly as possible.
But this week I think there's an added element to it. We have the holidays, and and we just had the outages last week. So I think we are taking advantage of the time we have now to give folks that as much warning and kind of advanced planning as possible.
PGE recommends putting together a power outage kit. Here's some of the things they say you should include in that kit. We're talking flashlights, headlamps, a battery-powered radio, a charger for your devices that absolutely works in your car, and enough ready-to-eat food and bottled water to last you up to 72 hours. All right, Rob, we talked about the possibility of this wind event, so you're going to get into the details here.
Yeah, so we already have the watch up for the potential of winds tomorrow. This goes from Roseburg all the way up through Portland into Longview, and there could be some wind up towards Seattle tomorrow as well. Locally, the high wind threat from the Weather Service begins at 7 a.m. and goes all the way through 4. Now, the initial winds tomorrow will be easterly coming out of Multnomah County, out of the gorge into Multnomah County, gusting to 45. The strongest south wind threat is, I think, primarily 10 to 2 here locally, and that could produce 35 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe some spike gusts reaching 60 or better. All of this will be over by evening. Now, if this comes true, absolutely that's enough wind to produce downed trees, power outages, and blow holiday decor all over the place, so we would have problems. Please understand, there are as many weather models that do not show wind at all tomorrow as there are ones that do. It depends if a low strengthens as it passes or stays weak. So we hope to get more clarity on that, of course, a little bit later today. Our cameras are pretty despite the cloud cover. There's good visibility upper Timberline. They have their lifts open, 26 degrees. They have 1 inch of new snow up there. Cascade Pass is generally in good shape this morning. From the mountain, we'll go to the coast. There's Depot Bay, good visibility as well. Cloudy skies, light winds. This is a view from the Channel House near the harbor there. Beach temperatures, like the valley, will be anywhere from 46 to about 50 degrees. Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood looking out over the vineyard. Again, solid low cloud deck. 43 degrees. If the clouds stay solid all day, we'll probably hold in the 40s for highs. We have temperatures generally with mainly dry weather in the 40s statewide. So if we get a break in the cloud cover, we could hit 50, though KGW weather impact alert for the wind advisory. It's been posted for tomorrow. And then we've got Christmas Day looking much more quiet with some scattered showers and a high of 49. That's your forecast for now.
All right, just a heads up for our viewers, Rod. If they want to stay up to date on the forecast, they can simply text the word weather to 503-226-5088. We will text you right back with a link to the updated weather story on our website, KGW.com. We update the story multiple times throughout the day to make sure you get the most accurate forecast. So again, just text the word weather to 503-226-5088. The holiday travel rush absolutely on at this point, with Christmas just 2 days away. So coming up here on Sunrise, how extreme weather events could disrupt plans around here, especially if you're planning to travel elsewhere, and how to avoid some of those long lines at the airport. Also, I've never tried to become an Olympian, but those who have say it can often be an uphill battle. As the Winter Games in 2026 get closer, we're talking about the uphill battle taking on a very literal meaning. Ski mountaineering, a brand new sport at the Olympics next February. We'll have more on what this sport is all about in just a moment.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
TSA says airports could see a record number of passengers all around the country during the home stretch of the holiday season, but weather, especially in parts of California, is creating some problems 2 days ahead of Christmas. NBC's Shaquille Brewster has the latest.
Hi there. Well, we are just 1 day away from Christmas Eve, meaning if you are hitting the roads or coming to an airport like this one, you can expect to see and feel that travel crunch. Things starting smoothly here at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. You see some of the traffic behind me, but not too many delays or cancellations to start the day. It's certainly an improvement from what we saw nationwide yesterday, where there were more than 5,000 delays coast to coast. Not helping the situation is that messy weather we saw in California, torrential downpours leading to flooding, dangerous conditions, dramatic scenes of rescues, especially in the Northern California area. Meanwhile, in Galveston, Texas, we know that area which was dealing with some dense fog yesterday that dropped visibility to as little as a quarter of a mile. The Coast Guard this morning is investigating a deadly plane crash. We know 5 people were killed, including a child. Fortunately, 2 people did survive. As for today, folks are certainly hoping for better weather and travel conditions. If you are hitting the roads, AAA estimating that the worst time to travel will be between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. If you are coming to an airport, you hear it every year. Make sure you show up early, give yourself that extra time, and make sure you download the app for your airline. It's a busy travel season, a record-setting travel period, and folks are just hoping to get to those travel destinations. Back to you.
All right, Shaquille Brewster reporting for us this morning. You doing any traveling this week?
No, Ma and Pa Hill have moved to the Northwest permanently. They're waiting for the moving truck with their stuff to arrive. So they're at our house, so we're just going to be staying put.
I feel like the Northwest is better with Ma and Pa Hill here.
Yeah. Wave to them. Hi. Okay, let's get you going. I think they're still asleep. Somebody asked, do you enjoy watching your kid on the show? My mom's like, it's pretty early. We're still sleeping.
It's 8:15 now.
Oh, maybe they're up by now. Okay, here's a look at our wind advisory. This is the big story locally. This is not for today. It's for tomorrow. It's up and down the entire I-5 corridor. The yellow is technically a high wind watch. So different weather service offices use different jargon from time to time. But basically up and down all of I-5, we're looking at a high wind threat tomorrow. Now, if you are just joining us, the first bit of wind that we will notice tomorrow, good old-fashioned easterlies coming out of the gorge into the North Valley. This shows Troutdale early tomorrow morning gusting to 41 miles per hour, and the east winds all the way off Tillamook and Astoria, but nothing south wind-wise. Now, the main reason for the wind advisory is for the potential of south wind. So let's play the clock forward. We'll stop it at 11 o'clock this morning. Now, this has updated. So these are new numbers from the last time I just showed you. Now, notice this shows Corvallis 54 mile per hour gusts, 60 mile per hour gusts coming up into the South Willamette Valley at 11 o'clock. Still east winds gusting out of Troutdale. Wow, look at this. Noon, 71 mile. This is new data. 71 mile per hour wind gusts in Salem. That would be, by our standards, an all-out absolute windstorm if that happens. This still shows east winds along the Columbia River at noon. And then here we are at 1:15. Now we've got the winds to the South Valley still noticeable, but off of the peak, a 61 mile per hour gust in Portland and a 65 mile per hour gust in Hillsborough and a 51 gust in Kelso. Again, this, if these numbers turn out to be true, would be one of the biggest wind events we have simply had in years. All of this should be over by the evening hours. Now, pause. Okay, please realize there are still, I just checked, there are still weather models that do not show any of it behind me. The difference is some models really strengthen a low pressure system. They produce what we call a tight pressure gradient, and we would pop the winds. The other models say that pressure gradient simply doesn't develop, and it's more of just a south wind 15 to 30 mile per hour day. We hope to have clarity later today, but clearly there is at least a threat worth noting, especially those numbers I just showed you. Okay, right now we have light winds. This is 11 o'clock this morning. We're mainly dry during the daytime here on the west side. Here's this evening, some light rain coming through. Here's the rain situation tomorrow morning. Some showers in the area. There's some heavier rain picking up late morning that would come up through Portland by the noon hour. We're zoomed in to the barges on the Columbia River from Vancouver, the springs of the waterfront. It's 44 degrees. Drew saying, Christmas ships, all right, big ships. 50 degrees today's high. We're 44 right now. Again, mainly dry. The impact alert for the threat of a windstorm tomorrow. Christmas Day is much quieter, just showers, 49-degree temperature. Here is Drew Carney.
Rod, I'm going to tell you about a sport here, or somebody's going to tell you about a sport that I guarantee you've never heard of. The sport of ski mountaineering.
Oh, I'm good at this, man. Ski mountaineering.
Oh, really?
I'm good at this. Yeah, continue.
Explain it to me in one short sentence.
It's where you get on your skis and you face the mountain and you take it on.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I know this much. It makes its Olympic debut next February at the 2026 Games, and I know someone who does know about it, a reporter named Corey Miller. Take a listen.
There's a new sport for Milan Cortina, ski mountaineering, also called skimo. The sport requires athletes to physically climb up the mountain both on their skis and on foot before eventually removing the special climbing skins on the skis and then racing back down the mountain. The sport's Olympic debut will feature individual and mixed gender relay races on a short sprint course in Bormio, Italy. While mountain-rich countries like France, Switzerland, and host Italy have the longest history with this endurance sport, it will soon come to the world as the newest Olympic edition in 2026.
Let's talk about what's coming up next here on the Sunrise Show. Thousands of more Epstein files released overnight. Coming up after the break, we'll let you know whose name was left unredacted.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Russia fired more than 650 drones and 3 dozen missiles at targets across Ukraine in a large-scale attack today. On Monday, a car bomb killed a Russian general in Moscow, which Russia blamed on Ukraine. NBC's Molly Hunter has more.
Overnight, there was a massive Russian drone and missile attack on Ukraine across the country just 2 days before Christmas. The Ukrainian military says Russia fired more than 630 drones, 3 dozen missiles overnight. The attack lasted into the daylight hours of this morning. At least 3 people were killed, including a 4-year-old child, according to Ukrainian officials, adding the wide-scale attack struck civilian homes and the power grid in 13 different regions of Ukraine. But this is a hallmark of Russian attacks at this time of year, targeting critical infrastructure during those bitter, freezing winter days in Ukraine. Now, this comes after a high-ranking Russian general was killed in a car bomb in Moscow yesterday. Russian officials have blamed Ukraine. Now, also yesterday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described progress on finding a peace deal as, quote, quite solid. Well, today, the Ukrainian president has said this kind of attack is crystal clear, shows Russia's priorities. He said a strike before Christmas when people want to be with their families, at home in safety, a strike, in fact, in the midst of negotiations that are being conducted to end this war. He says Putin cannot accept the fact that we must stop the killing. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
All right, let's get to some national headlines here with your morning rush. The U.S. military says it struck another boat in the Eastern Pacific, killing 1 person. Military leaders say the target was a, quote, low-profile vessel operated by a terrorist organization in international waters. U.S. officials say the military killed a drug-related terrorist during this strike. The Department of Education will review safety protocols at Brown University following the mass shooting on campus earlier this month. The investigation will look at whether the school violated the Clery Act, which requires universities to meet certain campus safety and security requirements in order to receive federal student aid. Instacart says it will no longer allow retailers to run AI pricing tests on its platform. This program was designed to help retailers improve sales and also show shoppers the best deals, but a study last month found that it forced customers to pay different prices for the same items at the same store. And that's a look at your morning rush. The Department of Justice released new documents from the Epstein files overnight to make references to President Trump, including what the DOJ referred to as untrue and sensationalist claims ahead of the 2020 election. As NBC News culls through the new files, outcry over the case continues. Here's Alice Barr.
In its largest release yet, the Department of Justice making nearly 30,000 more pages public from its files on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The new documents make references to President Trump, including tips about how connected he may have been to Epstein, who the president has acknowledged socializing with decades ago. In a statement, the Justice Department saying, quote, some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. The president voiced his frustration with the continuing controversy before the newest documents came out.
A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin the reputation of somebody.
The new trove of files includes a 2020 email from an assistant U.S. attorney referencing President Trump riding on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously reported, including at least 8 times between 1993 and 1996. None of the files show whether there were follow-up investigations or if anyone corroborated any of the tips. President Trump has long denied wrongdoing and said he cut ties with Epstein for being a creep. The Justice Department stressed the newly released claims would have already been, quote, weaponized if they had a shred of credibility. And it all comes as the department has faced mounting pressure and threats of legal action to release all the files as required by law. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up in our next half hour, sunrise, evacuation orders lifted in some communities, including Oregon City, as people around the area continue to clean up from last week's floods. Also, in our next half hour, we're going to catch up with a man who has a knack for trash. His story when Sunrise continues in just a few minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. New numbers from Prosper Portland and Placer AI shows more than 130,000 visitors shopped in Portland's Central West Side during this past Small Business Saturday. That's a 20% increase from last year and just 8% less foot traffic than before the pandemic began. Mayor Keith Wilson says these numbers are momentum towards what he says is the goal of fully restoring Central City foot traffic to pre-pandemic levels by the year 2030. All right, Rod Hill, what do you have for us?
All right, well, we're giving you a big heads up that we do have a wind advisory for the Valley in Southwest Washington, basically up and down the I-5 corridor tomorrow. This is from the Weather Service for Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Down trees, power lines, south wind gusts 35 to 55, all a possibility, and if true, would lead to power outages and down trees. So it's not a slam dunk. Some data says we don't get a wind event tomorrow. Others say it could be the biggest windstorm we've had in years. So we're hoping for more clarity later today. Right now it's 43. This will go on to be a mainly dry day with temperatures in the upper 40s at noon and light winds.
All right, 8:30 half hour of the Sunrise Show, and in less than 30 minutes, right at 9 o'clock, Mount Hood Meadows will open for the season. We know the ballroom carpet, Buttercup, and Easy Rider lifts are set to run today. The Daisy lift, we're told, may be running. It's kind of a wait-and-see situation. Mount Hood Express will not be open today. Lift tickets, by the way, for Meadows sold out for Christmas Day already. So some good news for the Mount Hood Meadows Ski Resort. Over at Mount Bachelor, skiing and snowboarding also set to start there today. Bachelor staff says the resort has 19 inches of snow on the ground from this past week, with higher totals mid-mountain. So there you go. It's really one of our top headlines of the morning, the fact that these ski resorts are up and running.
Should point out, obviously, that was not current video because they haven't opened yet. Right, so I'm assuming that was from last year, although I don't know. But the bases are less than 2 feet. So if you go up there, again, just realize only limited parts of the mountain are open, but at least we're building a base and we have solid coverage, which we haven't had until just now. All right, back down low, we've got Doppler radar showing some traceable amounts of light rain. Overall, this is a pretty quiet day. We think mainly dry moving forward, cloudy skies, no wind really to speak of, and temperatures that'll be back up maybe near 50 this afternoon. Right now it's 43. As we look at Salem, good visibility there in town. Similar scene in Portland with a temperature of 43. Again, there are some light showers or traceable raindrops to be found. We'll be 49 at noon. We'll get up to about 46 at 5 p.m. We'll talk more about the wind advisory for tomorrow coming up in just a bit. We do have the KGW impact alert up for tomorrow. Right now, Christmas Day plans, scattered showers, really no wind of concern, and a temperature of about 49 degrees. That's your forecast for now.
All right, thank you, Rod. Top story here at 8:30. People in the small town of Detroit, east of Salem, had to survive the 2020 wildfires 5 years ago, and now they have to recover from last week's rain and windstorm. So Detroit is still under a state of emergency this morning, as well as a boil water notice. According to the Oregon State Fire Marshal, more than 70 structures have been damaged, including homes and RVs. Most of the damage came from strong winds that knocked trees onto homes. Now, water for most people in Detroit did finally come back on yesterday after it was shut off completely over the weekend.
This storm churned up tons and tons of debris, and trying to filter that debris through a water plant and keep fresh water flowing, it's really difficult. I've been in Detroit since 1971. My family's been here, and we've seen storms here, but I've never seen one like this.
Even though that water is back on there in Detroit, the boil water notice is also still in effect until test results come back that show the water is safe. Most of the evacuation orders in Oregon City have been lifted at this point after a landslide there last week. So this video from Saturday shows crews working to clean up the slide near the Applegate Terrace neighborhood. Officials say 2 homes that got hit by debris are safe to go back inside to, but residents there have also been told you have to be ready to leave again in case a nearby hillside starts to slide again. So level 1 be ready evacuation orders have been lifted for some other people who live in other neighborhoods nearby. Leavenworth, Washington is starting to bounce back after some major flooding and power outages there. The Bavarian Village, which is famous for its holiday lights, is welcoming people back at this point, but it has been hard to get there because the main highway is shut down. December, always one of the busiest times of year for Leavenworth, and business leaders there say they hope people will keep coming.
Right now they need people. We need visitors, and one of the things that we've been fighting is just disinformation that is out there. People think that, downtown flooded, that shops are closed, but they're not. There was really not a lot of damage to any of the commercial business district. It was mostly in the residential areas.
Here's a website for you, leavenworth.org. That website has a new online marketplace where people can support the local shops. City leaders say they're optimistic about the holiday shopping season in downtown Portland this year. As KGW's Libby Dowsett explains, new numbers show a return of shoppers to the downtown core.
City officials released these numbers claiming that foot traffic during the holiday season is up compared to last year, and in some cases even nearly pre-pandemic levels. Now the data they're talking about is from Prosper Portland and Placer AI and shows more than 130,000 visitors hit Portland's Central City West Side on Small Business Saturday, November 29th. That's 20% more than last year and just 8% less than 2019 before the pandemic. The city shared these new numbers yesterday, suggesting things really are getting better, at least when it comes to holiday foot traffic downtown. Shoppers and business owners we talked to in the Pearl District said it seems people are coming back to shop after a big drop-off following the pandemic.
Like when I've come down here, always seems to be getting better each year, especially right now. There's so many people like out shopping and stuff, so it feels good to be down here. Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many times today I've heard, oh my gosh, the store's amazing. It's so beautiful. Like, how long have you been here for? And it's like, you only get that if people weren't coming downtown before.
Eric Fry is the manager at Made here, and he said there was that big drop right after the pandemic when people were working remotely. And just like Portland Metro Chamber has been saying all year long, the concern is vacancy rates in downtown. With these buildings surrounding me empty, they are encouraging people to come back to work downtown to populate the shops and go to the restaurants. Back to you.
All right, Libby Dowsett, downtown Portland for us this morning. Next stop is California. Santa is getting a little help this year from a 100-year-old in California. His name is Hal Yoke. There's Hal. He's 100 years old and also makes wooden toys completely by hand. He says he spends all year making all sorts of toys, from ducks and cars to dinosaurs and noisemakers.
I used to make cabinets for kitchens and things like that, but like you say, you get tired. When you get old, one of the two. I sit out here in the cold in the wintertime and the hot in the summer, and just keeps going.
Each year, right around the holidays, Hal opens up his workshop in his garage to sell his creations. In fact, he says this year is actually his busiest year ever. Way to go, Hal Yoke. 100 years old, Rod, still has that hand-eye coordination and that attention to detail to make all those small toys completely out of wood.
Forget that, the man can see good enough for the details, right?
Right.
I can barely do that. Wow, talk about looking sharp at 100. All right, big story is the anticipation of a potential wind event tomorrow. So the tan brown tone from Roseburg up through Portland, up into Kelso Longview is a wind advisory. The yellow is a high wind watch that extends up to Seattle. This is up and down the I-5 corridor. Again, this is tomorrow. The NWS starts our local advisory at 7 a.m. tomorrow and goes through 4 p.m. The information this morning is that the highest winds will be somewhere in between this 10 and the highest winds between this 10 and 2 p.m. Window. We start off tomorrow morning with no south winds, but gusty east winds coming out of the gorge to about 45 miles per hour in the North Valley. Then later in the morning, the south winds pick up 35, 55 mile per hour gusts. Could be some extreme gusts go over 60. If true, this would be a significant wind event with power outages, downed trees, Christmas decor blowing all over the place. Now understand, we are still eagerly awaiting the updates throughout the day into tonight and even tomorrow morning, because as of right now, there are weather models that show none of this happens. It's the difference between a low that strengthens versus a low that some models keep as weak. Quite a difference between the modeling. So make sure you get your update before you go to bed tonight. You may have some things in your yard you want to play it safe and just batten down or bring in or that sort of thing. Cameras are all very cloudy. It's a thick low cloud deck this morning. No frost or anything. There's the Oregon Garden camera out in Silverton. There's the barn camera from the Salem Tasting Room in Sherwood. We are generally in the 40s, 44 Vancouver and Portland, and 43 degrees in Salem. Then moving forward, it's a mainly dry day. We could hit 50, cloudy skies, light winds. Then we have the impact alert for the potential wind storm tomorrow. By evening, the wind threat is gone if we get it. And then Christmas Day is more typical, scattered showers, about 49 degrees. For your Thursday, that's your update.
Hey, Rod, we got a story coming up here. 10 years in the making. After the break, we're going to catch up with a budding business aimed at making the community a cleaner place and the planet a better place.
Hey, I've tested a lot of pillow massagers over the years. This is far and away the best, so I wanted to tell you about it. It's this one right here. It's the ComWrap Pillow Memory Foam Massager. It's designed to give you a professional grade massage wherever you are, literally. I'm obsessed with this thing. My wife sits on the couch with this for hours. I think I stress her out, but we'll get to that later. So come on in. This is what makes it so amazing. Dual two-way rotating massage heads, and they actually switch direction every minute to give you a balanced massage. Releases knots, improves circulation, melts away stiffness. And the other great thing about this, you just hit a button and the heat turns on within 3 seconds. You can also change intensity levels with this button right here, so you can do a softer daytime massage, or if you need something stronger at night for the athlete in your house, or if you've had a tough day, you can get a stronger, deeper massage as well. What also makes this so great, it's lightweight and compact, perfect to take on a plane, in the car, in the office. You can use it on your neck, your shoulders, back, waist, even your calves and feet. Wherever you need it, it's ready to go. It's also really comfortable, made of high-density memory foam, so it conforms right to your body. We have an amazing deal on this for you today. Normally, this is $76.99. Good price? No. For you, an exclusive deal, 60% off. That's huge. Only $29.99. How do you not get this? Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to shoptvdeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
In the latest edition of KGW's Pacific Storyland, Catherine Cook takes on the question of where can I recycle that? When it comes to certain plastics, she found the answer started 10 years ago. I thought...
Along Beaverton Hillsdale Highway in southwest Portland sits a little business shaped like a box, just big enough to fit a dream.
Years.
Inside,
Saving the planet.
Yeah, bits and bobs.
more boxes
Yeah.
to fit
Got a line at the door.
an environmental
Hi, welcome in.
nightmare.
How many bags do you have for us? Yeah, plastics are such a huge problem, ending up in waterways and oceans. Hello.
Welcome
Hi, welcome in.
to James Recycling.
These are fives. We are doing fours, but I don't think this is a four. Plastic chaos.
Do you see a number on that one? Pizza risers. We take things that you can't put in the curbs, so.
Yeah.
This is James Harris. Many have tried to put him in a box.
Yeah.
But as his mom, Kathy, will tell you,
Everyone on the spectrum is different.
These are twos, brown twos.
James doesn't belong in one.
The spectrum is very wide, and the stereotype of autism, it doesn't apply to a lot of people.
Okay, yeah.
To understand how James recycling came about, you gotta know what makes James tick.
That's a good question.
The answer, trash.
Yeah, I got the hang of it now.
About 4 years old, he got interested in it.
More specifically, what can stay out of the trash.
He would go through our trash, and he would take out things that could be recycled, and he would separate them that way, and he wanted me to know that I put recycling in the trash.
Making money and saving the planet.
Kathy fostered that singular focus into a future for James.
It's been so long.
This future.
About 10 years. Pick up buckets.
10 years ago, when we first met James, he was 18 and on the ground floor of his new enterprise,
Hard plastics.
collecting hard-to-recycle plastics
Plastic bags.
from neighbors,
Metal lids.
the kind you can't toss into curbside bins. Twice a week, James emptied these buckets and poured into his passion, protecting the planet.
Well, I've always liked recycling. I wanted to have some way so I could help the earth.
Do your thing.
All right.
6 months in, James had 50 customers, and Kathy had hope.
I wanted him to be self-sufficient. I really didn't see an opportunity for him to be able to do that with what's out there.
So they built their own opportunity. Demand for James's services grew. That led to pop-up events.
James Recycling events.
Drawing thousands of customers from all over in all conditions.
Rain, snow, 105 degrees, I think we did once.
Yeah.
Woo! Until finally.
Weather was terrible out there.
We've wanted a depot for so long, and we have it.
Plastic, brick, and mortar.
People know it's here. The word is getting out.
Hello.
A stable standalone to house this nonprofit.
We're so thankful this is here. How many bags do you have for us?
Customers pay $3 for every grocery bag of plastics they offload.
But these need to be sorted, and we can do this here. It's going to be $15 altogether.
From here, it goes to Denton Plastics. They shred it, melt it into pellets, and sell them to companies to make new things, like toys.
We are busy, but we love it this way.
Let's make this place a better world to live in, one plastic at a time.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
A lot has changed in 10 years, including James.
He's confident, he's outgoing, he's social.
Go up above that.
Okay.
Hey, Alex.
Others on the spectrum, like Alex,
He's kind of a jack of all trades now.
have also blossomed here,
I feel happy.
finding purpose in their work and independence.
Did I sorted out those lids?
Yeah, he takes it seriously. Yeah,
Alex's dad is grateful.
yeah, he goes at it pretty good. Yeah.
All right, you want to take this back to the trailer? Yes.
Who knows what the next 10 years will bring for James
That's a good question.
and the planet.
I'm proud of him.
Maybe less plastic
We could do better. We have to do better.
and fewer boxes.
These are all 5.
That's the dream.
We're done.
Yep.
In Southwest Portland,
Beautiful.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
From that story, we turn to Rod Hill and a look at his forecast.
Yeah, and we begin with just putting it right in your face, if you will, that we have a wind advisory for tomorrow. So especially if you have a lot of holiday decor sitting out, you may want to go out there and make sure everything's tightly staked down or bring it in the garage or that type of thing. This is from the Weather Service. Wind advisory up and down the I-5 corridor, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. Down trees, power lines, south gusts 35 to 55 miles per hour, all a possibility. Certainly the power outages and the downed trees. So like here we go again. And again, here's the map. It just goes from Roseburg up through Longview, and the yellow up to Seattle is actually a high wind watch. It's different jargon, if you will. So here's the latest weather model. This updated within the last 30 minutes. First thing in the morning, what we're going to notice is east winds coming out of the gorge, but the warning, if you will, is for the potential of strong south winds. And those will develop during the mid-morning into the late morning hours. Here we are at 11 o'clock. Notice this south wind push. Now, as forecasters, we'll be able to see this and put warnings out that the south wind is happening and is starting to shoot up the valley. There's a 54-mile-per-hour wind gust in Corvallis. Again, this is 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Sweet Home's up to 48. Now check this out. Could this be true? 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Salem at noon. Still east winds coming out of Portland. Then a switch early afternoon, 1:15, a 61-mile-per-hour wind in Portland. And then all of this would move up to our north, and we would see easing winds going into the evening hours. Now understand, this is based on a low, which is going to take a favorable track. The low is going to come out of this mess you see off of the California coast, track right up our coastline. That's a perfect path to produce strong south winds. The question is, will the low strengthen and turn into a windstorm, or will it remain fairly weak? There are models that keep the low fairly weak, meaning we would not get a wind event. But other models say we will. So we're going to hope to see models come into some sort of an agreement later today as we either up the ante or tell you that things are not looking as favorable. Right now we've got clouds, we've got areas of light precip across our state. There's the lift moving up at Timberline where they have a couple lifts open, and Meadows is opening today. Bases have solid coverage but less than 2 feet on the ground. So they have just a couple of lifts opening for the most part. There's the Providence Park camera, the clouds just kissing the top of the West Hills. We're in the 40s right now, 43 in Portland, 44 in Salem, in the 30s out east in our 7-day forecast. Quiet today, really no wind, cloudy skies. We might get up to 50, mainly dry during the day. Showers pick up this evening and overnight. There is the impact alert for the potential of a windstorm tomorrow. And it's kind of crazy because the potential for a windstorm, like the biggest one in years, but also the potential that it doesn't happen. By Thursday, it's just a typical scattered shower day and 49 for Christmas. It is birthday time. All right, our party on this Tuesday begins with Dakota, who is 23 up in Castle Rock. Happy birthday to you. Oh, he likes a cup of coffee. There's Nathan, 40. Happy birthday. That's a big one. Sandra is 67 today. Hope you have a great day. And Lynette, celebrating being 69 years young out in Beaverton. And Alan is 86 today in Lake Oswego. Happy birthday to you. That's our list. Birthdays at KGW.com. Also, my daughter, Natasha, 19 today. Happy birthday.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Here's a recap of some of this morning's top local stories. The city of Newport is suing the Trump administration, saying the federal government is still planning to put an ICE detention facility at the city's municipal airport without following the proper procedures. Meanwhile, a new report suggests more than 130,000 people shopped in downtown Portland during Small Business Saturday. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. That number represents a 20% increase from the same day a year ago. It's also just 8% less than foot traffic numbers before the pandemic. Mayor Keith Wilson says the data is encouraging, and he also says the city has a goal of fully restoring foot traffic downtown to pre-pandemic levels by the year 2030. Mount Hood Meadow is set to open up for the season in just a few minutes here at 9 o'clock. The ballroom carpet, Buttercup, and Easy Rider lifts will all be running. The Daisy lift may also be running today, but we know Mount Hood Express will not be up and running today. Lift tickets, by the way, at Meadows are already sold out for Christmas Day.
Means big time traffic up there Christmas Day. All right. For today, we're really quiet. We have a temperature that could hit 50. We have a solid low cloud deck after this morning. No wind. It's mainly a dry day during the morning and afternoon. Tomorrow, notice the red, the KGW weather impact alert for the wind advisory issued from the Weather Service for the I-5 corridor between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. tomorrow. This is not a slam dunk. Some models are not showing it, but other models say it could be one of the bigger wind events we've seen in years. So stay tuned for updates on that. By Christmas Day, the wind threat is gone. Scattered showers and 49 degrees. On the weekend itself, Saturday and Sunday, still showing like those 2 days will be dry.
If you were going to deliver a slam dunk, would you go with the one-hand slam or a two-hand jam?
I would be on a step ladder, so I would feel comfortable using both hands, baby. Boom!
The two-hand jam
from the step ladder.
A reminder, you can watch the Sunrise Show right here on KGW Plus every day. We also have these two new half-hour newscasts on Plus, 12:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. every single weekday.